So in our closing few minutes, and I know you got to go, and so since I do want to kind of have you as a case study as we walk through this, you mind if I give you kind of the next steps for some tips of where things might go?
Absolutely, I love them. What happened to my pen? All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, David, I gotta write it down. It's gonna be on YouTube. You can, because I have to like, I should have took notes on that, but I'll just watch the replay.
If I don't write down, then I'll still be like, hold on one second, okay? If I don't write it down, I have to write things down too, so it sticks.
That's all right. That's all right. But I think right now you're doing perfectly. The main thing is just getting started. And that's what we talked about before, is just getting started doing something. And the real thing about getting started is going to help you, because I think many parents start out saying, I have to have their entire curriculum like a teacher. You're starting on this day. I need to have math, English, science, social studies. No, you don't. You just, especially because everything is overlapping. You still have them in traditional school. And now, just maybe as time goes on, it begins to shift like this. And when it overlaps, you can now pull them out completely. So you're doing great with that. Keep that going with the art. And of course, it's going to help you as well with what you have to do for class. And so now, let's see, I know you mentioned you have art, and what are the other classes you're working on now?
I have, I can't even talk. My mouth is off dry. Stats, I'm just going to say stats.
You always have something around when I'm recording.
Oh, horrible. And then behavioral psychology.
Uh-huh.
And those are the three I'm working on now.
Okay. Now, if I may say, what about you have the art going? Maybe October is a little too soon, but I'm going to let you play around when you may want to start. But you have the art covered. So maybe now, what could you start applying for your behavioral psych with them? And
that's a great question.
It may not be, again, it doesn't have to be a big lesson plan or anything like that. But in terms of perhaps a book, you can have the older ones read. Perhaps it may be, I think as you're going through behavioral psych, something is going to resonate with you that you're going to be like, this applies toward either this child or that child, or maybe all four of them. And whatever that is, write that down. And then even if it's just once or twice a week, or whenever that thought comes and you have it written down, that's your lesson for the day in behavioral psych.
I like that.
You might find it could be something pertaining to, I don't know, say social studies. It could be something pertaining to science. If it's something, I don't know, involving the brain and saying, when we see this happens with this hormone and blah, blah, blah. It could be anything like that. At your level what you need to break it down to, though, and for which child is most applicable. And that could be your lesson for today. And so again, we're just coming up with ways. You're here now overlapping the school with art. We're just coming up with ways to make this shift and make this transition just a little bit more as time goes on. And I think as you find other ways to incorporate that, by the time you get to December or January, I think you'll be then rolling. You'll be rolling well. And just as to kind of add on to that, to facilitate that shift, that overlap, notice what they're learning in school and kind of compare that with what you're learning in school. And so I'll give you an example. My 16-year-old, he started the local college a few weeks ago. So he's in an African-American history class. So they had a class, or the teacher did it online for conspiracy theories, QAnon and the election. We talk a little bit about conspiracy theories around here. And so it was perfect because it was something that we always talk about. And it was right on time with what he was learning as kind of an offshoot of his class. That ended up being the lesson yesterday. So we ended up with the key question. I even had him ask his professor on their little Zoom or whatever. I said, ask your professor, do minorities tend to believe in conspiracy theories more than other groups? And for example, when we look at the Tuskegee experiment, we look at quote unquote Black Wall Street and the massacre that happened there, many times the stories that the group is told decades later of what happened does not line up with fact. And so now you have this distrust with the government. And that ended up being the lesson for the day. Forget what I originally planned on going over. It didn't matter because I was having it while it was fresh in his brain, making it applicable to what we talk about every day at home. And I think that'll also help with maybe if you have some of that guilt of, oh, we didn't get, the car needed to be fixed. I got to go here. I got to do that. I didn't get the lesson in for this day. Just get in what you can get in. Because school is 5 days a week or 4 days a week, whatever they want to make it to fit them. Because we know when we get to college, what do you have? 2 days of school, 1 day a week, you know? And so it'll take that pressure off of you as you just kind of go with the flow. But they always are learning. And that's the key. They are always learning. As you learn, they learn.
I love that. Well, thank you.
That's what we're doing this for. That's what we're doing this for. We're going to take this slow. So any closing remarks? I'll ask you one last thing to close then. What would you tell that mom out there, or even that dad? What would you tell them based on your experience since you've now undertaken this journey over the last month? What's one key thing you could maybe say has been positive? Or let's start out with the negative, the hard part, the warning, and then what's been kind of the benefit of it?
So the hard part is definitely the motivation as far as like getting up and, you know what I mean? Like saying, you know, I'm going to do this, and especially with so much going on, and that is usually difficult for a minute. And then once I get going with my classes and seeing them, then it becomes like, okay, I need to incorporate this or show them this. And when they ask a question, tell them the truth about it and find something to add to it so they understand it's not me making it up or going, but just, like you said, just, I feel like having you say, start where I am, start with what I know, took off so much pressure, and it didn't make me panic. And it was like, this was easy. It was nice just to teach them something that I had to learn myself. And so that was the best advice, because now I'm like, now I can, go and utilize other resources that I hadn't thought about, like you were sharing before, of a favorite book or a movie that, can teach them something. So I'm like learning to start off with the baby steps and keep moving and asking them the right questions, like you said, tailoring to each child and what they can do.
Excellent. Has there been any side benefit that you didn't expect so far?
Actually, they're very curious and interested, and they really want to hear more. Yes, they are like,
right?
So,
they want to get out of school, right?
It's funny because their enthusiasm, I was like, oh, I didn't expect them to be so, involved at first. And it was like, but just telling them the simple things and talking to them about, I'll just say with the art, or about what my parents went through with segregation, they have so many more questions. And it's like, if I ask them about the school online, I'm like, what did you learn? What you like? What's your favorite subject? Recess, and when we get a break, it's like no interest in what they're learning. But when I speak and when I'm sharing and showing them things, it's like they're actually more engaged than they are online. So it's definitely encouraging. Definitely didn't expect that. So that's good.
Yes. Well, on that note, we are going to end this. I want to thank you. We're going to this is just part one. We're going to follow LeAnne's journey, because I want those parents that are struggling right where she's at to go really just walk along with someone. This is kind of in the fitness world where you're that person that, you like have the newspaper up next to you proving this is where I'm starting at. And we're going to show the results, hopefully in a few months or a year. Like, I did not think I can make this kind of transformation. So I want you to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do what people do on the physical side, so we're doing it on the homeschooling side. So thank you. Just want to tell everybody, remember, like and subscribe, follow LeAnne's journey, see how things are going. That way, whatever struggles you may be going through, etc., you can see how she's handling it, because I've been there, now she's there, And, you know, we're going to walk you through this. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below of the video, and reach out. And we'll certainly, if you have any questions for LeAnne, you may say, okay, well, how are you dealing with this? Or what's going on with this? Fine. Put the questions down there, and that will give us more content for future shows. That way we can direct it and target it right to really where people are at right now. So that's it. LeAnne, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
More in, we'll just say maybe about every 2 weeks or something, we'll check in and put something out there and monitor your progress.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Teach them right. Well, we are all about taking what's out of your mind and putting it in your kids' mind, making sure that they go to bed smarter than what they woke up that morning or when they woke up that morning. All right, everyone. See you soon. Peace.
Bye. Thank you.